Welcome to your video step-by-step guide of how to create an account at BorderPass and walk through your study permit application with BorderPass and to submit it to the IRCC for processing after review by our Canadian immigration lawyers. Once you get to the BorderPass website, you'll be greeted by this login page. You can click Get Started to create your account. Here, you can either hover over the school that you're joining, or that you have a letter of acceptance or admission from, or you can search it in this list here. For example, if I'm a student joining one of Saskatchewan colleges, I can type that in, and I'll be asked to input my information in here below. I'll be asked to select one of the schools that I'll be attending under this group, and I'll be asked to put my student number in, as well as the rest of the details for my name, my email, my phone number, creating a password, and confirming to the terms of service and our privacy policy. Once I fill that information in, I can click Get Started. And you'll see that I'll be greeted by a welcome screen with the DLI that I've chosen, in this case, Saskatchewan colleges. I'll click Get Started, and I'll see a list of applications or options that I can play with. So ideally, you'd be creating a study permit application. So you can hover over it and click on it. And once you do that, you'll be asked to first complete a questionnaire. So as you click Continue, you'll see a list of questions that will help assess your eligibility for a study permit. You'll see here, this is a question related to your education. You'll be asked about your birth history, your education history, the type of application or school you're applying for, the program, whether you've had prior refusals, and things of that nature. And as you complete each question, you'll be prompted to answer the next questions. And I'm going to go ahead and complete them all here. Once I've completed all the questions, I will be greeted with an acknowledgement screen. This is just to confirm that you're being entirely truthful in your answers. And for each question, there might be follow-up questions related to the answers you put in. We just want to make sure that you're being truthful. Once you acknowledge the terms, you click Confirm and Continue. You'll see here, this is your checklist of the steps you need to complete. And ideally, we want to get here to lawyer review and eventually IRCC decision. So we've completed that pre-assessment workflow with all of those questions from that questionnaire, and now you'll be making your payment. From that screen where we saw the list of schools that are affiliated with BorderPass, if your school is on one of the list of schools, at the checkout screen, you'll only be responsible for paying the government and processing and filing fees directly collected by the IRCC. In most cases, that's only $150. And if you need to do biometrics, that would be an extra $85. Even if you were to apply on your own without using BorderPass, you would only pay these fees directly. Your college or university that is partnered with BorderPass is covering the membership and the study permit professional legal fees. So there's a ton of value you can get out of BorderPass for no additional cost to file through us and have a Canadian immigration lawyer review and submit your application. So you'll input your credit card details below to pay for the fees associated with your application, and then you'll click Confirm Payment. Once you've completed your initial payment, you will see here that the Make Your Payment step has been completed, and you'll be moving on to the preliminary doc upload stage. You'll click Prepare Your Documents, and initially, you'll be asked to upload a few of the following documents: your passport, your digital photo, your LOA if you have it, your transcripts, Canadian visa permit, as well as your proof of finances. So going through this, some of these documents might be really easy to source. So you would just go and upload these documents, like the digital photo, the LOA you got from your school, any of the transcripts. But here's where we want to spend a lot of attention and time. This is your proof of finances. So if we click Continue here, you'll see that there's a few different screen options here. Your first year's tuition, the living expenses, as well as the travel will produce this final number of your required funds for your time in Canada. It is very important that you show a proof of funds that covers this amount and then some. And as you upload documents, this bar on the right-hand side will continue to rise and rise, and ideally, you want it to turn green. It'll turn green once you've uploaded the required financial documents that cover these funds amounts here. And the more you upload, the better it is for your application. You can see here there's a total list of applications that you can add. The tuition payment receipt will count towards your proof of available funds. So if you have that, we highly recommend you upload that. Also, bank statements, bank certificate, investment accounts, loans, scholarships if you have it. All of these documents have separate upload slots for them. If you click into each one, you'll be able to see the types of documents you can upload, and also the requirements needed for it to pass through our system. So we ask that you upload 6 months of statements per the account that you want to provide proof of funds for, combine all the statements into one file, and make sure that it's recent. If you try to upload a document that's not recent, it'll be rejected by our system, and once you upload it, you'll be able to see the information that's parsed. So give me a moment here while I upload a document. To do that, I'm going to go ahead and click Select Document Owner. In this case, it'll be myself. You can also add financial supporter. So if your father or your mother or your aunt or cousin is financially supporting you through your stay, you can actually add them here through the screen, and then you'll be prompted to add more information related to your supporters. So their ID or passport, a financial support letter, which can be drafted directly in BorderPass, what they're assisting you with in terms of financial support, their proof of income, and their proof of relationship. The reason why we ask in the bank statements to notify us of which document owner it is, for example, for their proof of income and you want to provide their bank statements or their documents, you can actually tag them as the owner. But in this case, I'm going to add a document that represents my own bank accounts. Once you've uploaded your document, you'll see that it parses out certain information. The platform is going to determine their name, the document date, so the date related to the statement and on how it was printed, the amount in the local currency, in this case it's Canadian. We'll ask you to probably confirm if it's in a different currency in terms of an amount that would be converted to Canadian, as well as the institution name and some of the account details. Once you review all that, you can click Confirm, and you can see that it was added here, and the amount that you reviewed will be added here. And if you go back and click X, you can see that the funds have now been added to start for my financial meter. So as you add more and more funds, this meter will turn green, and I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Now, going through that, you'll see that I've uploaded all the documents. Those required fields have now turned green to be completed. And you can see in my proof of finances that all of the funds that I've uploaded, as I've increased that amount, it's turned green now that I've met that minimum of $33,000. It shows the total amount of funds here, as well as where I've uploaded them specifically. You can always return to the status of your application, so you can click on Dashboard to get back to the main screen. You can click Continue Your Application. And now that I've uploaded everything, I can click Continue. Here, you can see that the preliminary docs part has been completed, and now we're on the full assessment page. You can click that here, and you'll see a list of questions similar to the first assessment to go through and collect information about your birthplace, your citizenship, previous work history, all information that will be helpful for filling out forms later on. So I'm going to go ahead and complete these here. Once I've completed all of those questions and answered through and reviewed them, it'll now move me to the Upload Your Documents part of the application process. So keep in mind, we've already uploaded a bunch of our documents, so there's just a few outstanding ones we'll need. The provincial attestation letter issued by your university or college can be uploaded here and is required. And these are the last forms that you'll need to upload. You'll notice the first one is a use of representative form. If you click Continue, you'll be asked to go in and checkbox these two boxes here. This basically details saying that you're providing a use of representative for BorderPass to be your rep as you submit your application to the IRCC. This makes it easy for us to manage your application on your behalf and email you and provide updates in your BorderPass dashboard for any and all communications related to the IRCC. Once you click Agree, that form will be completed. And the rest of the forms here are government forms that are needed to submit your application to the IRCC. Please download them directly from BorderPass by clicking on Download Blank Form. These are updated automatically from the BorderPass and the IRCC websites. We just want to make sure you don't get them elsewhere in case you have older or outdated versions. So once you download them and you complete them, you can upload them and they will be marked as completed. And once you do so, you'll be able to continue. Now that I've uploaded the remaining forms, I can click on Continue. And we're in the last part of the application process before we can submit it to our lawyers for review. This part is building the statement of purpose. So through BorderPass, we're actually going to ask you some questions to help craft your statement of purpose letter so that you can use your experience and put it in your own words. And using our technology will generate you a full letter that details your purpose for wanting to come to Canada, what you hope to accomplish, and will make your application stand out with a really strong statement of purpose letter. So you'll see that they'll ask it question by question here. So this is the first question. Clearly state your step-by-step career plan. And for every question we ask you, we have an example just to give you an idea of how you should answer this question. So I'm going to go ahead and input my answer for this specific question. So this would be my answer to this first question here. And you'll see there are, as I go through, a few more questions that they'll ask me. Like I said, we have an example for every question. So you're going to want to go ahead and input the answers for every single one and get to the end screen. Once you've completed all of those answers, you'll be redirected here. The build statement of purpose stage will be complete with this green check mark, and your statement will be generating. This can take a few minutes to generate, so please be patient and refresh the page, and in a few minutes, you'll be able to proceed. Once it's been generated, you can click Review Your Statement, and this is an opportunity for you to review your statement of purpose document and proofread and spot check and make any edits to each section of the statement of purpose. Keep in mind, once you've done that and you get to the end of it, you'll be submitting this in addition to all of your documents to the lawyer for review, and you won't be able to go back and make edits before our lawyer reviews it. So please take it seriously and make all the changes you want. It'll show you section by section what changes you want to make. So if I click Make Corrections, for example, I see that my program is starting on this date and completing this date, and I want to change this piece here. I want to say I'm eager to expand my knowledge and skill set in the field of psychology and sociology in order to reach my career goals, specifically becoming a psychologist in Canada. So you can, and it will give you revision tips and tricks on how to make it a strong enough revision. And so I'll submit the requested changes, and I'll go ahead and just review all of the sections I had questions for and make the subsequent corrections. Once I've made all the changes that I want to make after reviewing my statement of purpose, I'll be redirected to this screen here saying that it's ready for review. And we'll again just get one last look at it. And once you've completed that and you go back here, you'll be able to complete your review and submit the application to lawyer review. And from there, it'll be approved here and you'll be able to complete your application. Your lawyers will review it and they'll submit it to the IRCC for IRCC processing. And from there, you'll be able to receive any communications from IRCC directly to your BorderPass account. And as you receive updates from the lawyer review, if the lawyers need you to add up any documents, and you get confirmation the application is submitted. Once you complete your decision and you get a decision from the IRCC after a few weeks or a few months, depending on where you're applying from, we'll also send you information on your arrival, how to apply, come to Canada and what to bring, and then after arrival, how to upload your study permit and have access to future applications like a study permit extension or a postgraduate work permit. If you have any questions about using BorderPass and you want to reach out to our team, you can use our chatbot in the bottom right-hand corner to ask any questions. It's trained specifically on BorderPass, but if you want to speak to a support member, all you need to do is type in, I want to speak to a support team member, and you'll be able to send that off, and a member of our team will reach out to you via email.